The provocation in the stars. The Karvuk Dominion prided itself on fear. Their fleets carved across sectors with brutal efficiency, enslaving weaker civilizations and erasing any who dared resist. Their doctrine was simple: intimidation first, extermination second. When the Dominion's warlords encountered humanity's fledgling diplomatic envoy near the edge of the Kepler expanse, they saw an opportunity. A single human diplomat had arrived aboard a small embassy ship, unarmed, carrying banners of peace, treaties of neutrality, and the quiet authority of Earth behind him. His mission: to speak for a species still underestimated in the galactic stage. But the Karvuk didn't value peace. They valued humiliation. They intercepted the vessel, boarded it with iron-clawed soldiers, and dragged the diplomat before their warlord. Cameras recorded everything. The galaxy would see this human broken, kneeling, begging for mercy. The warlord sneered, towering over the envoy. His tusks dripped with ceremonial blood. "You are fragile mammals," he growled. "Your colonies are sand. Your fleets are kindling. Speak carefully, little envoy, for I decide whether your species is spared or erased." He leaned close, pressing a blade to the envoy's throat. "Tell me, human, do you fear us?" The diplomat, calm, unshaken, simply looked into the alien's burning eyes, and he said nothing. That silence, cold, deliberate, was the warlord's last mistake. Mockery. Across the galaxy, the broadcast spread faster than light. Alien networks replayed the footage. A human envoy held hostage, surrounded by snarling soldiers, mocked for his silence. Commentators laughed. The Karvuk called Earth the silent prey. Other species joined the chorus. They remembered humanity's restraint in past conflicts. Humans negotiated when others fought, rebuilt when others plundered. To the galaxy, Earth seemed soft, too civilized for the brutal reality of interstellar politics. The Dominion celebrated loudly. Their warlord promised to enslave human colonies, to burn Earth's orbital stations, to make the silent mammals beg for survival. In the great council halls of alien empires, smug leaders shook their heads. "The humans will protest," they said. "They will send letters, ambassadors, words. But they will not fight." The galaxy's laughter drowned out the quiet hum of Earth's silence. But silence has weight. Silence has gravity. And humanity's silence was not weakness. It was gathering thunder. 3. The silence breaks. When the broadcast reached Earth, the footage played on every channel. Billions of humans watched as their envoy stood calm, blade at his throat, surrounded by jeering aliens. There was no outcry, no shouting, no panic. Instead, Earth went quiet. The chatter of media dimmed. The voices of politicians fell into whispers. The people of Earth, united across oceans and colonies, held their breath as one. And then, without ceremony, humanity's answer began. Deep beneath the oceans, dry docks opened and dreadnoughts rose like leviathans from the abyss. In lunar caverns, fleets that had been shadows of rumor came alive with the glare of ignition. The orbital guard mobilized, their ships slipping into black void like blades sliding from sheaths. The silence cracked when the first transmission pulsed across the stars. A single message, carried on encrypted channels, repeating in every known tongue. "Release our diplomat. Return him unharmed. This is your only warning." The Karvuk laughed when they intercepted it, but the galaxy shivered, because humanity had spoken. Not with words of negotiation, but with the sharp edge of inevitability. 4. Retribution. Unleashed. The Dominion ignored the warning. They boasted of their defiance. They paraded the envoy through crowded arenas, calling humanity weak, and then the sky above their capital world tore open. Human dreadnoughts emerged from folds in space-time, their hulls black against the burning suns. They came not in hundreds, but in thousands, filling the void until even starlight seemed smothered. The first volley struck without announcement. Orbital defense rings shattered like glass. Entire shipyards vaporized in lances of white fire. The Karvuk fleet scrambled to respond, proud armadas that had enslaved half a dozen species. But against Earth's onslaught, they were nothing. Their formations disintegrated under precision strikes. Their carriers split apart, spilling fire and corpses into the void. On the ground, storm ships descended like falling thunder. Legions of human soldiers marched, their armor gleaming with unyielding resolve. They did not shout, did not boast. They advanced with the cold silence of a storm long promised. Everywhere the same message echoed over comms. This is the price of intimidation. This is the cost of arrogance. The warlord who had held the blade to the envoy's throat watched in horror as his empire unraveled in hours. Cities burned, fleets collapsed. The weight of human vengeance crushed everything he commanded, and then, at last, humanity spoke directly to him. The envoy, rescued, unharmed, appeared on the Dominion's crumbling broadcast network. His voice was calm, steady. You asked if humanity fears you. The answer is no. But now, Dominion, now you will fear us. Moments later, the warlord's palace vanished in a pillar of fire. The ashes of arrogance. When the guns finally fell silent, the Karvok Dominion no longer existed. Their fleets were debris fields. Their cities were ruins. Their warlords were dust on the wind. The galaxy trembled. The laughter had died. In shadowed council halls, leaders whispered, they moved too fast. No fleet could mobilize so many dreadnoughts. They struck with precision beyond comprehension. The galaxy realized what the Karvok had not. Earth had been preparing. While other empires underestimated, humanity had been building. Fleets in silence, weapons in secrecy, alliances in shadows. Not for conquest, not for dominance, but for the day when someone dared cross the line. The Dominion had crossed it, and humanity's response was absolute. See. The whispered lesson survivors of the Dominion fled across the stars, broken remnants scattering like ash. Wherever they went, they carried the same story. They told of fleets that blotted out suns, of soldiers who marched like storms, of a silence that preceded annihilation. Civilizations listened in horror. The whispers spread like wildfire, and the final words of the survivors became legend. Never provoke Earth again. Sith. Infinite patience. Infinite vengeance. The galaxy learned a truth that day. A truth older than the stars themselves. Humanity's patience is vast. They will endure insult. They will suffer mockery. They will extend a hand in peace again and again. But when that patience ends, when humanity decides vengeance is due, their fury is infinite. The envoy who had once stood silent with a blade to his throat returned home. He was greeted not as a victim, but as the symbol of Earth's resolve. His silence had been the prelude to thunder. His calm had been the warning of the storm. And across the galaxy, from the richest empires to the smallest colonies, one lesson remained burned into memory. Do not mistake silence for weakness. Do not mistake diplomacy for fear. For when a human diplomat is threatened, the response is not negotiation, it is annihilation.